Hi, everybody. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. And, of course, this, I try to figure out from my iPad, from my computer. We are going to be trying everything to hopefully get Kimberly on here and start the interview. Of course, my iPad. I'm connected, but the show, of course. Well, I was supposed to do it from my computer, and it's just not working very well. So hopefully, Kimberly will be able to join me here shortly. I just am hoping that this will work for her and she can get in here. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am Stephanie Phillips. I'm the owner of Stephanie's Book Reports, and it is a romance book blog. You can find me on stephaniesbookreports.com. All of the links are found in the show information. So if you don't know about Stephanie's Book Reports, then you can try that on any of those links, and we are happy to have you. So just trying to figure out if we can be seen on air and how this is going. It's kind of hard since this is the first episode. It worked a lot easier on air oh, hi, there you are.
Hi.
There she is. This worked a lot easier when we test drove it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so welcome. This is Kimberly Blalock, everybody. So
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Good.
Are you freezing?
I'm freezing. It's so cold here.
It's got to be. It's supposed to have some of that frozen stuff come this way this weekend, and I'm like, let's keep it.
They keep saying winter's on its way, but I'm just hoping we can make it till spring before it finds us.
Yes, let's hope so.
Before it really finds us. Yeah.
Not a good winter weather person. It just
No, me neither. I prefer the summer. My favorite is the spring. I love it watching the flowers, bloom, and the warm weather. That's my deal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's too hot here in the summertime. I mean, I say it's too hot. I don't mind it being hot. I just don't like it being freezing cold, and that's what it's supposed to be this weekend. And I'm just like, you can stay.
Mm-hmm. And then you guys get the hurricanes over there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. And so, of course, well, we had one a couple of months ago. Well, yeah, about 3 months ago, October, was the last one that we had, and that's really. I've been here 16 years in this particular spot, and that's really the first. I mean, we've had a couple of them, but that one was really the first one that was kind of like,
you guys hit hard. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to evacuate. Well, the hard part about it is we don't usually get tornadoes here, but we had 3 tornadoes within an hour, right, like here by my house, and so I'm just like, no.
No, thank you.
I can't deal with tornadoes.
No.
Things are fine. I mean, the winds are scary and there's a lot of rain and you have to worry about trees falling on and stuff, but tornadoes, you never know what the heck they're going to do. So.
No, you don't. It's, I live in Tornado Alley. So Kansas City is, the area and all the way down towards Dallas and Houston. And it gets really bad sometimes. And just no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching both myself on the computer. It's kind of funny. Watching myself on my iPad and on my computer. I don't need to. I'm looking at the group chat to see if there's anything that comes up, but I can't tell if people are watching this live. If you have a question, I don't know how you can ask me or ask me to ask Kimberly questions, but one of these days we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's a work in process.
Exactly. Since this is the first episode, we'll on live. We'll have to figure it out.
We're going to work out all the kinks.
Yes, exactly. You get to be the first guinea pig.
Hey, I'm all about being a guinea pig. There's nothing wrong with that.
Woo. I am pretty sure that we have Kimberly's, excuse me. We went to Olive Garden for dinner.
Mm.
Oh, goodness. I'm pretty sure that we have Kimberly's author page linked, her Amazon author page, so you can go there if she is new to you, or at any point in time if you would like to go and check out her books. We're going to be talking about those stories this evening, and then she has an excerpt that she wants to read from your new one.
Yes, Bella 7. And I asked what all the fans wanted, all the ladies that love that series so much wanted me to do, if they wanted Jax's point of view or Bella's point of view, my hero and heroine, and they chose Bella. So I was actually kind of surprised. I thought maybe they'd choose Jax. I mean, a few did, but so I'm going to read that. I'm going to read the prologue tonight.
Yay! Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's see. How long have you been writing? A couple years?
Oh my gosh. I've been writing. I mean, I remember starting a book 20 years ago. I don't really want to make myself older than that, but
right. Exactly.
But I published my first book December 31st, 2014. And so we just had that birthday. Couple of days ago. Yeah. That was my first published piece, and that was his Angel. I've come a long way since then. As do most authors, I think, from their first to their 11th or 12th. But yeah, I've been published for 2 years.
I'm sorry. I was looking. Somebody just asked Madonna. There's 4 people watching now, but I can't see if y'all are. Oh, there we go. I see it now. Okay, cool. I had to go to the live page in order to see the chat room. So, yay! I can see y'all now. Lucas Branson says, "Hi, Kim."
Hi.
So now we're good to go. Okay, so you write mafia stories, and what else do you have here? I'm playing dumb, like I don't know what you write, because they're for people that.
No, I know exactly. I write romantic suspense. So, that's just typically what I've been. That's just kind of, I don't know. I'm an action kind of girl. My favorite kind of movie, so I like to keep it interesting. I'm kind of mean to my characters. But yeah, romantic suspense. And I'd like to step out of that, and kind of go to something sweet and all of that someday, but that's not in my future, in the next year or anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes, we have a schedule. Well, sort of for Kimberly.
It's a schedule, but it's a work in process.
Yes, we keep her on her toes. But, excuse me, I'm waiting on this book. Please, can I have?
I get that a lot. Trust me. And Bella 7 was supposed to be released in August, and I had some personal issues that I won't go into detail about. But it's put me behind, as life does sometimes put us behind. But I'm finally getting it out there, and I hope to. I have 4 more books of Bella after this one releases on the 18th of this month. And after that, during that time period, I'm hoping to release them every month, continue my every month schedule that, because Bella is a serial series. And so it's smaller. They're smaller pieces delivered, and I, was delivering them monthly. and then life got in the way, etc.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping to continue that every month from here on out until it's finished. I'm also releasing Chase and Anthony, and those are two of the secondary characters in Bella, and they will each have their own books as well, their own novella, standalone. HEA.
Yay! Love HEAs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes it's the happy for now is fine too.
The happy for now, yeah. Dirty Love, which I released October 25th, it was not an HEA. It was completely not. It had a very crazy ending.
Did you have a mob come after you?
No, it was. I like to twist things around and keep it interesting. Let's just say that.
Yes, exactly. Keep your readers on your toes.
Right.
We have a T Anna on the chat room. She says, "Hi Kim, love your books."
Oh, thank you. Hi.
I don't want to miss any of those. Let's see here. So, will you be writing any more to Dirty Love, or that's it?
Well, I wrote Dirty Love and released it in October, and I'm releasing Bella 7 on the 18th of this month. And my schedule is to release the serials every month. In addition to that, I'm also working on something else with my agent, and I'll be working on that, getting that done. And then I have another piece that something as a surprise. I've only mentioned it to a few people, but I can't say anything about it just yet because it's huge. It's going to be huge.
We like those.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, and yeah, that's all I can say. It's going to be
it's going to be ginormous, y'all.
Epic. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Vicky Leffert.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mom.
That's my child.
Hi, child.
I don't know which one, but
adopt so many of them.
Yeah.
I put on makeup for you tonight, so sorry.
No, you're okay.
I don't normally wear it because this my eyes they never have. And
you have to keep it away from your eyes.
Well, I have these stupid dark circles, and so I was trying to cover them up, but obviously.
Oh, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
You look fabulous.
Oh, anyhow.
Bless your heart. You need a tissue.
Yeah, I have some right here. To move. Okay. Get all the scrap off of my eye, and then maybe I won't be a tearing up pool. I could feel it. You know how it's just sitting right there, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be all right. It's like slow motion or like delayed thing on the computer. So I'm just now seeing myself wipe my eyes. Anyway, it'll be all right. Anyhow, so yes, big news coming. So
yes, big news.
We're looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have you also have the Angel Trilogy, and that is complete. So
yes,
those of you that want to read a completed series.
Yes, and then I'm working on Natalia's story. Natalia was a huge character in that series. She's a secondary character, and she's the strong girl. She's the girl that everybody wants to be when they grow up. She's gorgeous. She likes to play with C4. She's that girl. So working on that, and kind of going from there with that book.
Yay! Do you find that your readers beg you for certain characters' books?
No. Natalia, yes. She was the They really liked her. That was probably the one. Chase, I can say that Chase and Anthony, a lot of people went there. I get emails every single day, messages every single day. And they want to know why they're not released yet, because I was supposed to release them last year. And, with everything going on, I didn't. So I just politely answer, I'm sorry, they're on their way. Not here yet. So hopefully they can hang in there and wait just a little while longer. It'll be worth it. I think in the end, they'll be glad they did.
Yes, for sure. Well, and it gives time for, in case you wanted to make any changes or to what comes in the storyline, to do some of that kind of stuff.
Right.
A little bit.
I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised with Chase's story. I think that it's going to be, I think they're going to really enjoy it, and Anthony's as well. Both of them.
Excuse me. So you'll have 2 spinoffs. In addition to that, and then do you have anything? Well, I mean, there are some new things, but do you have any new things in those that you can talk about?
Well, I have. We're working on with limits, and I'm not really sure exactly how much I can go into that. So you would be the person to ask for that because you're my agent.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well,
what I can say to that.
You should just. There's more stuff coming.
There's more stuff coming. Yeah. This new. I don't want to say anything just yet, but it's going to be the biggest of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest thing, and it's going to be huge. And I think that I'm really excited about it. It's what I'm working my way there, to get to that place of fulfillment. And I think when we start writing, when we're children and we write stories and create characters and build this fictionist world, all we really want is to make people happy. We just want people to read something that they can get lost in and feel comforted by that. And that's what reading does for me. I'm an avid reader. I read all the time. And that's how it makes me feel. It makes me feel comforted. It's my comfort food.
Right. Exactly.
That and macaroni.
Comfort food. And I'm like,
mashed potatoes.
Yes, exactly. Give me a book and sit in the corner and read.
Give me a cup of coffee and a book and I'm golden.
Exactly.
You won't hear from me for 2 days.
Right.
I just read Vicious, and by LJ Shen, and it was amazing. And she did a great job with it. And I think I sat there for 2 days reading that book. But the kids and get up, mommy, go play with me, So of course it takes a little while to read, but you got the adult responsibilities and all that good stuff.
I know.
But it's my comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do have to adult, I reckon.
You do. I have to adult often. I don't like it. That's not fair.
Not right. Your other child is on, I guess, as well. And he said hello to his sister. And then he said, "You're my hero." So I'm not sure if he's talking to his sibling or if he's talking to you. But anyway, y'all could battle that out.
I think it's probably, my kids are amazing. I have the best kids in the world.
Yay.
Yeah, I do. I'm very blessed.
That's a plus because
they're so supportive.
It can make, well, I was going to say, it can make your job, hard.
Oh, they are so supportive. If I'm writing, they're just my little hero. They're my heroes. They have the biggest hearts, and I'm so blessed to have them.
Yay. Do they ask you? Do they get to help you with story stuff like?
Oh yeah, definitely. My oldest daughter, who's 19 and getting ready to make me a grandmother, in just about 7 weeks, I'm gonna have her name. She actually created Natalia's character from the Angel Trilogy. So, oh yeah, they often, I'll read things. And of course I write romance, and I write erotic romance, very detailed romance. So they don't read those parts, but I'll read them other things. And my son, and he'll go through and give me his opinion. Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah. They're very involved. They love it. My daughter, my 8-year-old, she writes all the time. So
your Bella series, or I guess it's called the Sagatory
Family Saga.
Do you, I mean, you know, Mafia is known for being pretty violent. Do you have, I mean, you know, relatively, they're just take no prisoners.
Right. Well,
they do, but they don't usually let them go. So.
There you go.
Yeah. Did they help you with any of those kind of scenes? That would be, you know, with stuff that's on, I don't know, you know, if your children watch stuff on television. Mine don't really care much for TV. They watch stuff on their iPads and they play games. Of course, they're 8 and 4, so they don't really, they're not really interested in all that kind of stuff. But, you know, there's so much, like Criminal Minds and CIS and, you know, NCIS. Those were my favorites before children that I watched. Now I don't even get a chance to watch.
BIC, no, Before Children. Never mind. I'm trying to make a initial for it. Never mind. Never mind.
BK, Before Kids.
Yeah, Before Kids.
Yes, it's. I used to watch all that stuff. Love those kind of shows. So, do they get to help you with those kind of things? Influence any of your?
No, they typically not. My son will put his 2 cents in sometimes about something, and you know, we'll see kind of how it plays in. And every once in a while, you know, he gives me an idea, but mostly, you know, they're doing their thing, and they let me write. They really do. They're very generous with that, letting mommy do that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I thank them in my books every single time. You know, I'm very blessed, truthfully.
We appreciate that. Yes. Me especially. Well, anyhow, we'll work on that later. I don't know how many people know. This is the first time that we've moved to YouTube, obviously. So, in addition to being a blogger, I am also an agent, and I happen to be Kimberly's. So. It's that's why we're just like, well, what can we say here?
What can we say? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble.
Up our sleeve, you know.
Yeah, we have lots of things up our sleeves. It's gonna be good. 2017 is gonna be a good year.
Yes, exactly. We're just gonna bust it wide open. That's what
yes, exactly. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yay. I don't know how long your prologue is. It's 8:24, so I don't know how long. Would you like to read the prologue?
Yeah, sure. Bear with me a minute. Okay. All right. No judging. Okay. My reading skills. I guess I should put my glasses on. Should I do that? I'll put my glasses on.
Yes, it is one. It's kind of nerve-wracking trying to read in front of people too. So it's like, oh, did I skip?
It is. It's and yeah. So
I even do that when I'm trying to read to my kids. Oh wait, let's see back of that.
Yeah, I know. And then I'm looking at some word trying to make out what it is, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that word. Okay. All right. So Bella 7 releases. Hi. Oh, somebody just, okay, I don't know if that was on this or, okay, somebody messaged me. Never mind. Sorry. I thought it was for this. So this is Bella 7. This is the prologue for Bella 7. And this releases January 18th, which is on a Wednesday. So 2 weeks from today. And Bella 6, for those who are on who haven't read the Bella series, at the end of 6, what to say, she is taken, her husband finds out that she made contact with someone. And then I end it because I'm a cliffhanger. I love cliffhangers. I don't like to read them, but I like to write them. So whatever, judge me all you want. Okay, so this is the prologue for Bella. Until the day I met Jax Moretti, I'd wondered if my life would be one ridiculous, boring day after the other. But that wouldn't be the case. Not for me, not for Jax, or anyone else involved in my life. Now, I'd find out just how evil and sadistic this life could be. I'd thought often, hell, I dreamt every day, every single freaking day, what normalcy must have felt like. I laughed in the face of that now. Sitting in this car that's slowly rounding a sharp corner. My guess, this is where the men I've been with for the last 72 hours have taken me. Our final destination. 4 men, all wearing the exact same thing. Black cotton shirts, cashmere jackets, shiny black shoes, and very large weapons. Only one of these men have spoken to me, and when they speak to each other, they only speak in Russian. I don't speak Russian, but if a person paid close enough attention, a few things became obvious. The men were large, and despite their stature and attitude and attributes, okay, let me start that over. The men were large, and despite their stature, their attitudes were different than I would have thought they'd be. They had been calm and reserved, as if dealing with fragile parcel. I hadn't spoken, not what I wanted or even needed to so badly. Instead, I held my tongue, watched, soaked it in, and learned from their behavior. What could it benefit me? I asked myself. To survive, of course. I'd felt scared having these men hovering, or rather towering over me, and while I'd always felt surrounded and smothered growing up as Anthony Saggitori's daughter, it wasn't until that moment I realized just how truly free I'd been. I'm a pawn in a twisted mess I had no idea existed. I had to leave. I wasn't an idiot. There was going to be a war, and I couldn't allow that to happen, not over me. What could I do? I knew Ivan Miklov was getting close, the man that Jax deemed Satan. He demanded Jax turn me over or he'd kill everyone. I more than anyone felt as the current pulled us into the stream of hell. That hell wanted to rip my family apart. I could deal with what happened to me. I'd protect my baby with my last breath. I was betting on the fact that he claimed me as his daughter. If he believed that, maybe he wouldn't hurt me. I was all in. My cards were on the table, as far as he knew. But Jax, that was something I couldn't deal with. In the end, the idea of losing Jax was a deal breaker. At home, I would be hidden and well protected. I had no doubt that every man under Jax's rule would guard me with their lives. I'd lost a guard once. He died with honor as he sheltered my body with his own. I'll always remember him, and he'll always have a place in my heart. But I also knew my strong man would fight, and he would die in the streets protecting what belonged to him, me. And that I wouldn't allow. I couldn't. While I sat in the smooth, warm leather confines of the sedan, I knew I'd made a mistake, but it didn't matter. I had to make it work. I wanted to prove to everyone, mostly Jax, that I was strong and could be trusted to protect our family. I felt myself getting lost in the electrical current of dismay. I needed to figure out how I was going to swim to shore and put this entire situation to bed. I'd sat in silence for the last hour or so, thinking of what was likely to happen when I met this man. I tilted my head to the side of the seat, contemplating every wild thought that ravished my already insane mind. Only one man looked at his phone the entire time we'd been on this journey. He was taking the orders from whomever gave them. I guess it was the man that claimed me as his daughter. The others did as he said, but not as their boss, but more as a messenger whose only task was to deliver the information. I'd been treated with respect. They hadn't looked at me with a crooked eye, which felt odd since they'd kidnapped me. And as crazy as it sounded, it was as if they feared me in some way. I was of no concern to them, surely, but something was off. The car rounded the corner and pulled through a narrow road. If another had tried to pass, it would have been impossible. This city was the night without the day, cold and gray. I tilted my body, risking a peek out of the dark windows of the sedan, but I was unable to make out where we were. So I snuggled back into the heat of the seat. I begged silently in prayer to God that we'd arrived. I was tired of waiting for this to go down. I continued my silence. I wouldn't give in to these pigs or need anything from them. And if my family was okay, then I'd keep my cool. Albeit I didn't know if they were okay. That's what kept my mind the busiest. I spent my time nonchalantly rubbing my fingers across the smooth curves of the crucifix Jax had given me. I couldn't risk them seeing it. They'd taken all my other jewelry off, but I needed God and I needed this. I prayed and wished that he could read my mind, but he couldn't. God also hadn't offered a guarantee of their safety. It wasn't until the man to my right leaned forward just enough that I could see we were headed straight for a castle, a beyond sickeningly large house that put anything I'd ever seen to shame. I gulped, dragging in a long, desperate breath that I hid into my cheeks. And as much as I wanted to pretend that I was discreet, these men weren't lost to my shock, each catching the shudder that ricocheted from my bones and the gasp of air as it left my dehydrated lips. We'd arrived to our destination, and I'd finally be united with the man that freely took me from the only family I'd ever known. There was no use crying or begging. I was Anthony Salvatore's daughter, and I'd once again find my way back to my family.
Yay!
Yay! Did I do bad? Was that okay?
Oh, that was great.
Okay, I messed up a couple times. I get a B+ or something.
Yeah. A-. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was thinking as that part where she was talking about how she couldn't possibly be a threat to those people. I'm like, well, if that guy considers her to be his daughter, then heck yeah, honey, you can be a threat to them. All you have to do is put the bug in the ear, and that's all you got to do.
Right. And Bella was raised as the boss of boss's daughter. So he was the head of the familia, the mafia, Cosa Nostra, whatever you want to call it. Mostly they just call it the mafia, the family. Mm-hmm. But she was raised as his daughter. She was the only child. And then it come to find out there's a situation where she might not really be his daughter after all. Mm. And so Jax keeps some secrets. Jax, her husband, whom she married because her father told her to. Mm. But her father had plans all along to keep her safe. So, and of course, now we have this situation going down. So,
yeah, gotta find out all the secrets. Yes, that's one of the things that I love about mafia stories is that there's always stuff going on. You can't I think it's great that you did a serial because you can't stick it all in one novel because there's always so much. I mean, that's why the what was that show on HBO that did so well?
Sopranos?
Yes, The Sopranos. I mean, that's why they did so well. It's because always have stuff going on.
That show was so not true to form. Just FYI, people. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, they made a lot of money. Good for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people love to see that drama and that stuff.
They do.
On, all that. And you just kind of associate those kind of things. I mean, I never watched it because we didn't have HBO by then.
I watched it. Mm-hmm. I loved Tony Soprano. Yeah, he was great. He had all kinds of problems. I think I'm drawn to that.
The problems. Well, I think with I have friends who have relatives that are in the mob, but I've never met any of them. So
what city?
been very lucky that I haven't, I guess. I don't know. My big sister from my sorority, actually, her uncle is involved in the mob, and her dad is not. So I mean, they're Italian. Her dad is not involved, but his brother is. So I guess whatever. And then I have friends that are, that are in other whatever. Anyways, so they're relatives, but nobody I know is directly involved with it. But yes, it just seems like to me, but there's a lot of I wouldn't necessarily say inbreeding, but a lot of you try to keep it in the family kind of thing, Yes.
Yeah, you must be Sicilian. It used to be you had to be 100% Sicilian. Then they denoted that law and made it to where you had to be at least half Sicilian to be a made man in the mafia. So you can be, part white and part Italian, or etc. I mean,
right. I know what you mean.
But initially, when they first, came to America, that wasn't the way it was.
Yeah, Deborah from the Book Enthusiast is watching, and she said, "Love me some Tony," and then she said, "New York." Stephanie, I always make fun of her and her New York accent, but yes, New York. New York and New Jersey are full of them.
I love those accents.
New York.
I love it.
It kills me every time she goes home. She lives a couple hours outside of New York now, in Pennsylvania, and so it's just kind of funny. When she goes home, you can definitely tell she's back to New York.
I was in Connecticut last year, just 2 hours from New York, and at a book signing, and I love their accents up there. I love it.
It's thick. Some of them are pretty thick. Depends on where you're from. Which part of New York
or New England in general.
I'm gonna get butchered because I'm saying all these accents wrong, but that's what you get for a Southerner trying to say.
There you go. Yep.
Somebody from New York or something.
I don't do well with those accents. I always try to do my my UK or my Australian accent. Oh, bloody hell. But I don't know if that's
right.
I won't embarrass myself. Yeah.
It is, yes. Deborah, she has a niece. Deborah and I talk frequently. I guess y'all can probably tell. And so she has a niece that she's young, teen, and she said one day to her about her British friend. And Deborah's like, "What are you talking about? Who are you talking about?" Where she was referring to me, and I was like, "Yeah, don't you know I sound like I'm British, being from the South." Anyway, it was just kind of funny. There's no way. I don't. Yeah, my Southern accent just kind of gets in the way of it.
Sometimes when my children and I go shopping, we talk in British accents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Leaning in.
And then people are looking at us funny. It's fun. It's a good time. Just have fun with it.
Exactly. Well, keep it interesting. It's here, we have a lot of French Canadians that come between now and March. There'll be Ontario will vacate and come
holiday.
Yes. And so you'll hear a lot of the French Canadians here. And so I'm always doing that to them. I'm leaning into their conversation to try to see if I can understand. Because, they do that Franglish. The French. The Franglish. And so you're like, what are you talking about? But they, it's if you haven't heard it for a while, then you kind of, forget. So then I just keep leaning in, try to, it's, so do you put Italian words? Do you speak Italian at all? Do you put any Italian in your story?
I will be. Let's just say that. I don't really know how much I can say about this.
Oh, okay.
I will be, and in a future piece.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I know a few Italian words, but I don't speak it fluently. I'm good to know English, really.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still trying to master the art of English.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, I wish I did. I would love to learn another language fluently. I've always wanted to do that. One language I'd love to learn is like sign language.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to.
American Sign Language.
Well, that's probably as good as it's going to get if I do. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that would be really, really cool.
I did some of that with my children when they were little. I had Deborah says she knows the good ones, to the Italian good words. She has Italian relatives, so yes, she would know all those good words. I did the sign language with my kids when they were babies,
and that's a big thing.
It was a lot easier than trying to figure out what they wanted, when they couldn't tell you what they wanted. So that. And I had a girl in Sunday school when I was little, and she was deaf. So we learned just a little bit of sign language there. But yes, it's so interesting. We have a translator at my church, and they all they sign the whole service, and I'm just like,
that's wonderful.
To watch them just, and they're going to be getting in trouble here for
it's so fast how
like really, really quickly, and they don't even have they don't have the script, so they don't know, they don't know what's coming up next. They're translating as it happens live.
Right. Catching up with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So you really have to know your stuff in order to do that. It's just amazing to me that they can do that. It is, it would be really cool. Yeah, one of the, I always wanted to learn German. I took like 7 years of French, and so I can, I can read it. I can probably still speak it, but I can't write it worth a flip. But German was one that I always wanted to learn because I just thought it would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. My family's from Germany.
Spit on people and you just about get it. That sounds awful, but really, I guess when they when they get to talking, but. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. And Russian, but that's so confusing. The new alphabet of
the new math. How about the new math?
Ugh.
I feel illiterate.
Right?
I can't figure it out. My son's like, Mom, tell me what this is. And I'm like, -1. No, ha ha ha, it's 7. How did you get, it's a mess. This new math is a mess. It's a hot mess. It's not what I grew up. Thank God I've already taken college algebra and all of that. And I'm good.
Right. Done.
I don't have to do this no more. Except for helping them. And thank God my son's a genius and he can figure it out.
Right, exactly. Sisters, because I don't know. Yes, I told my husband, I was like, you're going to be teaching them math because that is just not especially that Common Core crap, because I'm just like.
That's
dumb.
I don't even understand. What are they trying to do to us?
Right, you have to go around your butt to get to your elbow. It's like simple. Add and subtract straight down, not sideways.
Right.
Sideways. It goes straight down. I don't.
And if my son is hearing this right now, he's probably saying, "Oh my God, it's so easy."
I guess when you're brought up like that.
Yeah.
It's not. I was just like, what? How would you even? I don't even know. Why would they even want to think that would be something? Just teach it the easy way. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Right. Exactly.
You taught that for 100 years. Why are you going to change it now?
Why are you changing it now? We're just getting the hang of this one.
Exactly. Let me get my calculator. It doesn't do more, so how are you expecting me to figure that out? Mm-hmm. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Even a TI-85 or whatever they are these days, those Texas Instruments, the big calculators, they don't do Common Core, man. So,
no. These poor kids.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I mean, I'm sure we could go on and on and on about this.
I wanted to mention too, because I haven't mentioned it. And the only reason I didn't mention it was because I really don't know. I don't have really any information on it yet. But I want to go ahead and throw it out there anyway. I'm going to be working on co-writing a book with Scylla Webb. Mm-hmm. And we've already started it. We started it last year. It's called Hush, but I don't know, you know, any delivery dates on that. So it's a psychological thriller kind of thing, romance, all that good stuff. The unexpected. I just want to throw that out there. Hello.
That'll be fun. Sorry, I have a little person that's supposed to be downstairs.
Oh,
and so it's
I
trying
gotcha.
to get them
No
to
problem.
go. We'll go. Otherwise, she'll stand here the whole time and not do what she's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to ask. Oh yeah, psychological thrillers are always fun. I love those.
Mm-hmm.
Those are cool to read. See if you can figure the story out before it ends. That's always my favorite part, is to see if I can do that before the actual story is over with.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that.
That's how. Yeah. When I grew up, my favorite books to read were mysteries, suspense, trying to figure it out. I wanted to figure it out, and I always figured it out. I just want everyone to know that.
Right. Exactly. Early.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's you know, like Mary Higgins Clark. She was one of my favorites to read. I don't know if you ever read her stuff. Yes, and so like I read Lily White now. She's one of our SBR media authors too. And her last psychological thriller she did, I figured it out at 64%. I said, please make it known.
Please make it known. What was the name of the book?
Wake to Dream.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Everybody else needs to check it out too.
Yes, right. It's a good one. It's you know, to see if you can figure it out. It's kind of.
Does she write romance, or is it romance? Is it in the romance genre?
I don't know what she put it under this time. There's not really any elements of romance at all in Wake to Dream. There's it's alluded to sort of kind of in the storyline. I can't really give it away, but some of her other stuff, she does have some things that are romance, and she does write romance, but she's moving like that Wake to Dream is more of a psychological thriller. It doesn't have any, it's not included in romance scene. There are two different types of points of view, if you will, in the story. One is where the main character is talking to her shrink, and the other is her remembering the story. So it's just kind of different. I can't really give you more than that because it'll really just tear
That's okay.
the story, but it's
I love psychological thrillers. I love them. I love writing them. Yeah. Love it.
See, you'll have to, if you get it and read it, you'll have to tell me when you figured it out.
I will. See if I can get your 64%.
Yes, this is what it is. Yeah, 64%. I figured that sucker out. I sent her a message because I was beta reading the story for her, and she was like, "Well, maybe." And I said, "There's no maybe to it. You know that, right?"
Right.
Because everything else that I had come up with along, she was like, "Tell me what you think it is, what your thoughts are along this, you know, along and along and along." And she was like, "Nope. That's
what people say, the readers that read the Bella series. That's what they say about Bella. Just when you think you know what's going to happen, completely, I ripped the blanket out from the carpet out from underneath you. I love that. Keep it interesting, you know, because I love clues. I love clues. Dropping clues. Can you find Waldo? I love finding Waldo.
Right?
I do. I found SpongeBob in a picture the other day. I was so proud of myself. But yeah, I love finding those clues and dropping the clues.
It's like, do you have a you know, an Easter egg, whatever people want to call it, in your stories? Do you always have that same thing in your storyline? I don't know another way to explain it. Everybody's like, our Easter egg is like.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I guess it's like one thing that you throw in every time. So like a friend of
Oh,
mine, I think she uses my name in different forms, and she just random like whatever. And so I if I ever read the stories, that's another thing. I don't read my friends' stories because it's hard. I don't want to hurt their feelings. So if I am first before they started writing, it's hard for me because I don't want to be like, if it turns out to be that way. So
yeah, you know, yeah, but writing is such a process, and with every single book that a person writes, they grow and they develop, and it's an art. And I mean, I guess if we were Picasso, we'd all be perfect, and we'd make amazing books every single time, and whatever. I don't even know where I was going with that, but
yes,
my point is that when people write something, it's taking that judgment from your friend who reads the book is not easy when you first start, because you think, oh, this is my wonderful story, and you're so proud of yourself for writing it, and it's hard to take that criticism. But
maybe you're supposed to love it.
But the wiser you become writing a story, the easier it is to take that criticism. It really is. I mean, it's hard for anyone to take criticism. Let's be honest here. Because that hurts us. As females, we're emotional creatures. And so we feel like our feelings are hurt because somebody didn't want to play with us at the playground.
Right.
But the more you write, the more you grow, the more you want to do better. The more you want that criticism, because then you can be better, And so, but anyway, reading someone's book, that it is hard. I've done it.
Yeah, it's difficult especially when you say, well.
Right. And if it's their first book that they've written. In fact, I mean, I know my first book, Lord have mercy. I thank God, for my editor. I mean, I needed that criticism.
And that's another thing too, is to have somebody that's willing to work with you, content and grammar, all that stuff.
My editor is amazing about that. Scylla Webb, actually, she's my editor, has been for a long time now. And yeah, she'll give it to me. She'll give it to me good, but I need it. And she doesn't hold back. So that's good.
That's a plus. Yeah, because there are some that'll just say, here's all the little punctuation, all that kind of stuff, and then nothing about the storyline, and you're like, who's the editor?
Yeah, I think sometimes that. I won't go there. I won't go there.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you don't want to be. Yeah, that's the hard part. So you have to find somebody that's good enough to work with you, to give you those ideas and beta readers and all that kind of stuff. That's the hard part about
writing. Thank God for them.
The team of people that you need
for
self-publishing. I mean, even traditional publishing has a huge office of people that have to go through the novel to begin with. And self-publishing, beta readers, you have to write it, and you have beta readers and critique partners and editors.
You mentioned, independent author, and the publishing houses and all that. There was a post, I'm sure you've seen it, about that woman, and I don't even remember her name, who said, and I'd like to just say this, who said that independent publishers are not real writers. But I would just like, I personally, not that my 2 cents matters at all, but if you put something down you write it, it's your story, you are an author, and it doesn't matter. And that makes me want to cry. Because
it's your hard work.
It's hard work. And, when I'm an independent publisher, I have had nothing put through a publishing house. And, they may never want my book in their house, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But it's hard work. But I would just like to say on that whole deal, and that was, all over social media, the what she wrote, that, you know, if you're not published through a publishing house, you're not a real author. And I would just like to say that, you know, if there are any authors reading this or, you know, are watching this, please don't, you know, don't be discouraged by that, because that wasn't true. And I just wanted to say that to anyone. It breaks my heart, but.
Yes. I mean, I've read some indie published authors that write way better than some traditional published writers.
My best friend and I were just having this conversation.
And I review a lot. I still read and review, even though I'm taking on a new role as an agent. I still read and review for my blog, and I do traditional and indie. It's just not just, you know, I started out just indie, and, you know, we do both traditional and indie now. And yeah, there have been quite a few times where I have read a traditionally published book and I'm just like, seriously, this is all you got? Like, what? And then, you know, people complain about the editing for indie authors. And I've read some traditionally published books that need like 2 or 3 more rounds of editing, because I'm like, what?
Well, you know, there's some huge books in our genre, large books, which I won't repeat their names or anything like that. But, you know, me personally, having read those particular novels, I didn't see anything, because I was so engrossed with the book and the storyline. And honestly, you know, I was still learning myself. So I still, you know, didn't probably pick up on those things. But, you know, we're not perfect. None of us are. You know, the authors aren't perfect. The editors aren't perfect. The proofreaders aren't perfect. You know, the cover designers aren't perfect. We're not perfect. We're just people. You know, we're just people, just like everyone else. And positive, you know.
Yes, exactly. No need to beat yourselves down. You just keep right on going.
Right.
And then
move on.
Yeah, that article, I did read that thing, and I was just like, give me a break, lady. You know?
Right. Right.
What planet are you living on? Because
he's living on the moon. I'm just going to say that for the record.
Right. There are indie authors that are making way more than you, doing way better than you.
We work very hard.
You know? And they take, you know, a lot of them write, you know, in the middle of the stinking night, because they're working full-time jobs and have families. And then I loved, I don't know if you read Colleen Hoover's response to that particular.
I did.
But I was like, that's just spot on. I mean, after working 11 hours a day and then going and doing research for her book and then writing in the middle of the night, I mean,
Colleen's wonderful.
Yes, you don't get any sleep doing that kind of stuff.
No, and Colleen, you know, she wasn't always published through a publishing house, and you know, I mean, and one of her books is going to a movie now, and they were filming in Canada. I don't know what's going on with that, but
yeah, but she was the first self-published author to hit #1 on the New York Times.
Yeah, and Alexa Riley just hit New York Times. So now New York Times bestseller. So congratulations! Just saw that.
Yeah, that's where I haven't been on Facebook today, so I hadn't seen anybody's now.
Yeah, her PR representation posted it, and I'm just really excited for her. That's wonderful.
That's great. Yeah.
Then isn't that it's 2 people, right?
It's 2.
Yeah. So congratulations to them. You know, they earned it. They're wonderful.
Yeah, that last release was their first full-length novel. They usually write novellas, and that was their first.
Like 98, 100 pages or so. I have most of their books. I think I haven't gotten a chance to get this one, the new one, yet, because I'm just.
You're writing.
Yeah, and I can only read so much when I'm writing, but I plan to read it. So it's, yeah.
Do you have a favorite genre that you like to read? Do you stay into romance, or do you?
I like romance. That's my favorite genre, I'd say.
Do you have a preference?
I like the promise of love. I don't know. I guess I'm mushy that way.
Yes.
You know, I like seeing that develop and
The Cinderella story. I mean, you know, every woman deserves, every little girl deserves, you know, their own Cinderella story. So.
Right. Well, I mean, the reality is, you know, that story isn't real.
Right.
And, you know,
frogs along
I'm sure I'll never have a Cinderella story, and, you know, but I enjoy reading about them. So
exactly. Well, it's fiction, and we have to note that stuff is fiction.
Right. It's not real. Well, as I always say, it is real, whatever.
Right.
I was like, who am I kidding? It is real.
One of my favorite authors.
Those characters are really alive. I swear to God.
Right. One of my favorite authors divorced her husband because he wasn't anything like her. It wasn't anything like her character.
Oh, boy.
I was like, what?
Oh, hold on. Did you say one of your friends or one of your favorite authors?
My favorite author.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was like.
But is that true, or was that just kind of in the gossip?
Well, it was she was interviewed, and that was in the article that I read about her divorce. I was like,
well, and you know, and I guess you could look at that.
She could be misquoted. You know, I know that happens. It's not everything.
I love her. She's wonderful. She's so kind. I've not had a chance to meet her, but I know who you're talking about. She seems very down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though
success hasn't gone to her head.
No, and she is very successful, and good for her. I hope it continues in 2017.
Yes, for sure. Tiana, Anna, I suppose she commented until it's real and it happens. Yeah, that's what she's talking about, the fairy tale. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's Disney has gone a long way for those fairy tales. You know,
Beauty and the Beast they're putting on a new Beauty and the Beast movie.
It's my favorite. I'm looking forward to it. I love Emma Watson, so we'll see how she does as.
I'm excited to see her. You know, to see them grow as actors and doing such different things.
Yes, it'll be so different to see her as Belle instead of Hermione.
I know. But I think she can definitely do it. I'm excited to see it.
Mm-hmm. Do you read paranormal?
I love paranormal romance. Romance? Is that what? Paranormal romance?
Paranormal romance.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Now, did you watch Twilight? Were you a Twilight fan?
Yeah. I was trying to remember who. It might have been my mom. She actually got me reading Twilight. I mean, I love that, you know, that stuff. I read a lot of C.S. Lewis, you know, growing up, and I was trying to think what are the other things that I read. I can't even remember now. You know, dystopian stuff. So she said, "You need to read this. I think you might like it," and devoured them. She did the same thing with Harry Potter. I read the first 4 books in a weekend. And you know, and those suckers aren't
with Twilight. How I found out about Twilight, and really, well, how I found out about Twilight was on the radio, 93.3 here in Kansas City, Missouri, and they were talking about it, and the movie was coming out, but I hadn't really, you know, I didn't know about it. I just know about it. I don't know how I didn't know. And talking about the movie and how wonderful it was. So I thought, you know what? It's a YA. So I thought, oh, my daughter. It was almost Christmas. It was like October, November. That would be really good for my daughter for Christmas. So I went ahead and bought it on Barnes & Noble or something and had it shipped to the house. When it got to me, I thought, well, you know, these people keep talking about it. I better check it out. I better just check this out. You know, so I read the book without letting her see it because it was a Christmas present. So, yeah. So then I finished that and I was like, oh my God, I nearly had a nervous breakdown because I needed the next one now. So I was at Barnes & Noble and I don't know why I didn't just buy them all at the same time. But after I was done with each book was like the next day I was finished. My house didn't get cleaned for like a week. And then, because that's what I did. I read them all in a week. And then I turned around and read them again. I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people don't want to admit that they love Twilight, but I freaking loved it. And I was standing in line at midnight to see the movie with my daughter.
Yes, I like the movies too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, Donna says Sparkle Sparkle. Edward is her favorite. She loves Twilight. She loves like Twilight fan fiction, all that stuff. She loves.
I'm a Twilight. I'm team Edward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
He's
never did see Jacob with her, even in the story before.
No, but they're coming out with Jacob and
the baby.
Renesmee's movie. Oh, there's going to be a book.
Esme.
And the book is written. The book is written for the movie. So they already know that there's going to be a movie. So it's going to be so much truer to the book because it was planned that way. I think people will be really happy about that.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Christy, there's a lot to leave out. I mean, even like watching the Harry Potter stuff, there was a lot. Those
books are so big, though. They're so huge.
Yes, you can't spend 2 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we watched the freaking Titanic drown.
Yeah.
For an hour and a half, people, you can do,
Yeah, we can do better than this. Let's go. I mean, 2 hours for Twilight just wasn't. That was ridiculous. Give me 4 to 6 hours, at least.
And so, like, my best friend and I, we would go watch the Harry Potter movies, and so afterwards, she never read those books, and so afterwards, I'm like, okay, so are you lost? Would you like me to fill you in? Which parts confused you the most?
Right.
She was like, I'm a little lost. What happened? Like, you could follow the story, but there were some holes in there, just like 50 Shades of Grey movie, the first book. There's some holes that they didn't.
Right. You have to read the books. You have to read the books. The books are always going to be better than the movie, no matter what they do.
For sure. I mean,
our imaginations are so much better than the movies sometimes.
Right. I never read the Divergent series. I haven't read any of that, or the Lord of the Rings, or any of that kind of stuff. But
have you watched the movies?
Mm-mm.
I did the Lord of the Rings in 8 hours. The movies. I watched all. I loved them, and then the Divergent series I love.
I need to get on the stick with that. Jerry Young, she's commented and said, "Hi, Kimberly, you are a great job. I told you you would. And I read every Harry Potter book within 12 hours of getting them. Yeah, those are amazing. I love that story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in dire straits when those books went
homeless.
Yeah, homeless. I wasn't 100% on that, but yeah. Well, good for her,
Yeah, and I wonder how many publishers are taking their.
She actually released a book, an adult book. It's not romance, and I don't even know the genre. But she, even after writing Harry Potter, I imagine after writing such a powerful series, it's so hard to kind of get into something else. And I imagine people, kind of think they expect one thing, and then I bet that's hard.
Right, and get the next. Well, I mean, she's not like she needs to write anything else again because.
Yeah, and that's what she said too. She said I could pay my bills and feed my kids, and we'd be just fine. But and she said I'm excited that I don't have to release it. I don't have to publish it. I can just write it because I want to.
She's got them in like a gazillion different languages, and she's got the movie royalties and the toys, and now the play, and coloring books, and good Lord, she's making a killing just, on those kind of things.
All the royalties from that.
She's got, just noticed that these Harry Potter books. So those of you that are watching or will watch later, if you are a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, she has the Harry Potter books in Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, wow. I just put all of my books on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, it's wonderful.
You can have them loaned to you, and and read them all. So that's kind of cool that you can get them through there. Because they are $9 a piece to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can spend $10 and borrow them. The only downfall with Kindle Unlimited for a reader is that you don't get to keep the book after you're done with it. So
Right. That is kind of a bummer. What do you think? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think is too high of a price for an ebook? There's so much controversy about pricing ebooks and what have you. 99 cents. A lot of people will say if that book hits, New York Times, you didn't really get there. I've heard that. I don't know that. I mean, that's just, I'm not saying that anyone specifically said that, but I mean, I've heard that before.
Right.
Just, in rumor, etc. But then we have these books that, like you just said, are like $11.99. I mean, I have to have a cutoff. I can't just be paying that kind of money.
Right. Well, I have 3 authors that I will pay $12 and $15 for their ebooks.
Wow.
Usually either release, they're paranormal authors, and they usually either release at $11.99 or $14.99.
Are they published through one of the 5 New Yorks?
Penguin. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And all 3 of them published through Penguin Random House. And
wow.
One of them releases almost always at $14.99, and the other 2 are to like $11.99.
And they sell them.
New York Times bestsellers.
Wow.
But the $14.99 lady, she only releases about 1 book a year.
Okay.
And she's been writing. One particular series has 24 stories, 25, 26 stories in this particular series, and she's been writing it since the 80s.
Wow.
Yes, and then she has another series that
Who is that author?
Laurel K. Hamilton. Phenomenal. That's the Anita Blake series. And then she has another one that be called the Mary Gentry series, and she has 18 books in that series. And that's about the Fae. The Anita Blake is a necromancer, and there are shifters and vampires in that.
Is it romance genre for either one of those?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all 3 of those authors? Are they?
Those are urban fantasy. Yeah, romance or urban fantasy, the Anita Blake, and the other ones are, I guess it's more paranormal because it's fairies. But yes, the Mary Gentry is a descendant of 4 fertility goddesses. So yeah, there's a lot of romance going on.
Wow.
Not necessarily romance. There's a lot of sex going on.
That's. I mean, I get it. Penguin has to make their money and etc. And everybody has to get paid. And I just think that's so high. I mean, why not just buy the paperback or the hardback?
Right, exactly, because it's only $1 or $2 more for her.
Right.
For sure. And if I went to the store that often, I probably would. But it's the hard part for me is that I am so addicted.
Amazon Prime.
That it's hard for me to read a book. Like I have an arc of a paperback arc that I need to read. The book releases. I've had it for like 2 or 3 months already. The book releases in February. I've started it, but I haven't finished it because I have to find time to read during the daytime. Because if I use a reading light, my son is wants to play with it. At night when the lights are off, or in bed and stuff. He wants to play with the light and take it off my book, and then I lose my place, and then I'm just So
is that from New York though? The paperback? Do they send paperbacks?
It's a Penguin book. Yeah, that one's for Shayla Black.
Mm-hmm.
So I get I'm on a short list of blogs to receive those. But yes, normally, with Random House Penguin, they will they'll either send, if you would rather, the physical copy, but then they also have NetGalley. They put a lot of their authors on their NetGalley account for that. Mm-hmm. And I would prefer, I mean, I could have gotten all kinds of paperbacks, arcs, but I prefer the ebook because it's so much easier for me to be able to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And I take that sucker everywhere.
Right. Exactly. I know what you mean.
But for an indie author, so here, this is where people will probably crucify me when it comes to indie authors and book pricing. I typically don't. Oh, April Newman just came on. I don't know if she's still watching. She said she missed the beginning, and so
that's okay. You can watch it again.
Yes, that's a great thing about YouTube. You can start all over again. So the hard part about indie authors is that you don't have this 5 million people working for the company that's producing the book. And you don't have, like, one of my authors has a traditional book that's going through the traditional process, and she has 6 different edits that are coming. Now, if you can imagine as an author, you know what you pay for 1 or 2 edits. Imagine paying for 6.
Right.
And cover design, proofreading.
Is this her first? Is it from New York or is it a smaller pub?
It's with Entangled.
Okay.
They're kind of a mid-sized, they're getting on up there, but they're more of a mid-sized publisher, I guess you would say. And so 6 different edits and a proofread, and then cover design and marketing and all that kind of stuff.
Right, marketing. So, oh Lord.
Yeah, going through all that stuff. So if you know what an indie author pays around $1,000, $1,200, could be more than that, depends on how much they paid for cover design, if they cover models and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And hours and hours and hours of writing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't usually spend more than $3.99 on an ebook outside of those 3 paranormal authors. I do see some indie authors that are like $4.99 and $5.99, and I'm just like, I'll wait to put it on sale, maybe, if you do, everyone.
if it's someone I just absolutely love, one person I will definitely pay that for is Vi Keeland. I love her. I'm a huge fan of her. I would pay $5.99 for a book from her. I don't know why. I would.
Up your prices, right?
But she's actually pretty reasonable. Her books are usually $3.99. Mm-hmm. Which that's a doable amount for me for an ebook. When you buy so many of them all the time.
I know. It's great. Mm-hmm. Well, and that's, reviewing. If I had to buy all the books that I review, we'd be at the creek without a paddle because I read so many. Well, last year I read 180 books that I read last year. 3 years ago, I read 356 books. Yeah. So, I mean, and I've averaged, and then the year after that was like 250. And then I've been averaging 175-ish, I guess, the last couple of years. But
it's because you're starting, your media company.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to keep up with that, trying to do the blog and make sure we still have that stuff going, and then family and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's a juggle, but yeah. So the amount of stories that I am reviewing is a little less. So there's people coming up the stairs again. Well, it is after 9 o'clock, so it's
Mom, are you done yet?
Right, exactly. Hello, I gotta go to school tomorrow. I need to go to bed. You gotta get out of the thing. She's giving me that look like, and it's a good thing they get their homework in advance. Like on Mondays, they can do like the whole week, Monday and Tuesday nights, because Wednesdays she never gets to do her homework because we're always, I'm always doing show.
Right, which is now the first video.
The first video.
I think it went pretty well with very few technical difficulties.
Exactly. My radio station used to have a ton of major difficulties, sound and all that kind of stuff. I don't think we've had that problem tonight. So
Excellent. Yeah, I don't think so either.
Once we figure out how to get a hold of one another.
I was sitting in a room all by myself, and I thought, well, what in the heck is going on? And it said you were all alone, and yeah. So, and then you sent me the link, and I jumped right on. So,
yes, it's kind of, I don't know. This thing is different. It's different. I'll have to figure out how to. I don't know. It's different. It's
I think it's the link that you have to. If you invite someone, I think you have to be in the room. And if you leave the room, I think it kicks you out. Yeah, I don't know.
Redoes a new,
I think, but
a new URL every time.
Right. It might. Yeah. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And I appreciate
you for having me.
Yes, of course. Well, congratulations on your new release, even though it's early, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks today, yes.
Y'all look for Bella 7.
Mm-hmm.
7.
7. Mm-hmm.
When it comes out in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And then, of course, follow Kimberly's information is all in episode information here, so you can subscribe to her newsletter and find her on Facebook, Amazon, all of her social media is included here. So, and I guess I have to get used to, my kids love watching YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. And I was listening, my son was listening to one today, and I was like, oh, I have to remember on the show to say, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Mm-hmm. And then I guess that helps with, like being seen amongst the masses here.
Right. And don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, thank you. Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah. Let's be kind to our book friends and support them any way we can. So this will help,
Yes, for sure. And this will be forever. I mean, it's on the internet, can be seen forever and ever and a day. So we've had as many as 6 people watching at one time.
How many?
Right, 6.
Oh, 6.
But there's 10 likes on the video so far.
Yay. So, but everyone can, I think it's at a time when everybody's kind of getting their kids to bed and getting dinner. And
that's the hard part, because I wanted to do it where she was still awake and, I wouldn't disturb her from trying to go to sleep.
Right. And the people who are going to work, they, have to kind of get their stuff done and go to bed.
And at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, so they're just getting off work. Anyway, at least it records the thing, so
it's great. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All righty, ma'am. Well, thank you so much. And I know that you and I will be talking soon, but you'll have to come back again later on this year. We will have when we're ready for that big announcement, we'll do another.
I think that big announcement. Well, I'm actually scheduled to come back onto your show on the 2nd of August. And so that'll be good for another announcement. But this other one, which one am I talking about? Will be before that. So yeah, if there's room, maybe we can get me in so I can.
Well, we'll have to do a special day.
There you go.
And that way we'll have, we'll have.
Definitely.
So people will see. And I don't even know who's on next week. I have to sit here and see who is on the schedule following Kimberly, because I don't even know. Michelle Pace. So yes.
Michelle Pace?
Michelle Pace. Mm-hmm. Have you ever read Michelle?
I haven't. Mm-mm.
She has co-written. Actually, she and her husband co-write together, and then she, her husband is co-wrote with J.L. Mack. I don't know if you know her. They hit USA Today with that book, I think, that they co-wrote together. But anyway, so Michelle and her husband co-write together a series, and then she writes also with Tabby Coots. She's one book that she's written solo.
Okay.
Romance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to say some small town-ish kind of things. And then like the series that she does with her husband, I'm not 100%. It's been a while, so I haven't
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's next week. So
We'll have to check her out our next Wednesday when she's on with you.
yes.
Everyone will have to tune in for that.
Woohoo! While you're writing, you can listen to us chat while you.
Yes, I watched you and Jacinda, and then Shannon.
Yes.
Love Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
But that was great. That I read that, and I'm just like, what is going on right now? I love how she can go from one style. I feel like that was a completely different style for her.
Well, I didn't read anything before that particular series because, of course, that was with Penguin. And so I read them through Penguin Random House. I reviewed for that trilogy, and I was like, wait a minute here. The first book, Madam X, I was like, whoa.
It was different.
Very different. This is first and third POVs. I was like, that not drive nuts trying to write that kind of thing?
I can't do third. Whatever you call it. I'm a first person kind of girl. But I think she did such a great job depicting that character. I mean, just she was so brilliant with that character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. It was a little crazy and a little weird, and I think that's what she was going for. I think she kind of wanted to throw some people off their step a little bit and do something different and wild, and I think she did a fabulous job. I think she definitely nailed her mark. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was different. But I watched that one, and it was great.
Oh, thank you. I had a lot of fun talking to her. She's hilarious.
Well, she's super down to earth, isn't she?
Yes,
she's just a normal girl. Yeah.
Well, and I follow her on social media. You see pictures of her in the farm and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not like she just sits in her office and she has manual labor to do all day long. Yeah. So for her and Jack, her husband, to come up with those kind of the storylines.
How awesome is it that her husband is so involved and so supportive?
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to him. It's just wonderful.
Yep, definitely. Because I don't know, most men are like, whatever.
Oh, please, yeah. He deserves. He gets the prize. That one.
Yeah, definitely needs a gold star for that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. There was something else I was going to say about that. Well, so then the next book that she wrote after that, this
Exposed,
the Bad Boy series. Well, with the Madam X series, just kind of like a psychological kind of romance saga thing, and then she went from that to this Bad Brothers series, which is hilarious romantic comedy. Or at least the first book was. I don't know what the second one. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'll be reviewing that one coming up. And the first one was hilarious. I was just like, okay, just some stuff in that book.
Being able to go from one character that's so dramatic to something
that she can do it like that, and then write her nonfiction story that big girls do it running or whatever. I've never read that, so I'm assuming that's nonfiction-ish.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That book's great. Yeah, and kudos to her for doing that too, because that's we're not all perfect, and we all have some of us have curves and some of us don't, and
Yep.
I like my curves, so whatever.
Exactly.
In 2017, I'm embracing my curves.
There you go.
Okay. If you don't like it, that's okay.
Right. Tough tushy. It's me. Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, ma'am. Well, it is 9:29.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about to meet this hour and a half mark. Woohoo!
Oh, boy.
People watching. Hi.
We have lots to talk about.
Exactly.
I love to talk. So I have no
problem. These in an hour. My husband doesn't understand. He's like, you can't cut time. No, because we have too much. I mean, that's why my radio shows were 2 hours, because you can't.
Oh, wow.
You just get so tied up and that it is hard to do it in an hour.
Yeah. And it's fun.
So much to do.
And girls like to talk, so there you go.
That's exactly right.
I love to talk. I don't
know. Me too. Most of the people were like, what? Yeah, not me. I just want to type.
Yeah.
I want to type.
No type. Speak.
Exactly. I'd rather talk to you than to type to you.
Right.
But anyway, well, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you again in August, if not before. And I'm sure sometime between now and then we'll see you again.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Follow Kimberly in the episode information. Her social media is located in episode info. So
feel free to join my reader group, and yeah, all info is in there usually first.
Yeah, we don't want negative stalkers. We want positive stalkers.
Positivity in 2017.
Exactly. All righty. Somebody. Well, you can holler it, but you can't get on the thing.
What?
Because I don't.
Hi. Thanks for sharing your mommy with me for an hour and a half.
Miss Kimberly, she said thank you for sharing your mommy with her. She's smiling.
It's not really my mommy, it's really Asher's mommy.
Asher's mommy. Yeah, he says that it's not her mommy. It's only his mommy. You know.
That's
it's not your mommy. Yeah, she reminds.
I was born first.
Yes, she reminds him of that all the time. Every time.
That's so funny.
My mommy. I was born first. No, he'll
been
figure.
Claimed, I think.
People.
Yes. Bye. Night night.
On the internet.
And bye, people on the internet. Yeah, we still have 3 people watching still. So.
Okay, well.
Not a lot.
No, that's not a lot. But it's the first show, so.
It's the first show. Hopefully it'll grow. I wish you luck with it. What made you decide to go to video?
This child can't stand on her own 2 feet. Well, my Blog Talk channel, I was in the middle of interviewing Golden Cermak one night, and the show completely just cut off.
What? Sorry.
And they couldn't. They have an online help, and I was paying for that service and online help, and they kept swearing that it was me. Go. They kept swearing that it was me that was the problem. And I'm like, there was nothing wrong, and all of a sudden it was completely gone. It took them like 20 minutes to fix it, and they figured out that it was their problem. They fixed it with 5 minutes left of his show. There was no point in getting him back for 5 minutes. We just wasted all that time. And they didn't offer to compensate me or anything for.
Oh, wow.
And I've had problems where they couldn't hear. It had a chat room as well, and they wouldn't be able to chat in the chat room. They'd have to refresh it, wouldn't be able to get in there. It was a mess. I mean, it was like, why do I pay for this if y'all can't make it right?
Right.
So I decided that YouTube, could probably reach way more people than, and it's forever. And once it's on here, it's not going anywhere. So it could be easily embedded in websites and shared and passed around, all that kind of stuff. And, so I just thought, well, instead of 2 hours on the radio, I could do an hour in person, as long as they don't mind being on the live. And I have the chat room here, and this is free.
Yeah, and everybody can watch it, and
exactly, and they can get to see you, the author. I mean, I get to see y'all, and people don't get to see, people that don't get to book signings and that kinds of things, they don't ever really get to see the author in person. Well, if I can bring them to them via the YouTube, they can watch it, they can see, who it is they talk to on a daily basis, or, read their books and that kind of thing. So it was an easy choice for for me to decide, hey, we'll just go right to video and
hey, you know, all things great in 2017. So I just keep saying that because 2016 was so horrible.
right.
I just keep saying 2017 is great. It's wonderful. Positive vibe.
4 days old. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're doing so good in the new year.
Exactly. So it'll be a marvelous year.
Yes.
And yeah, it'll beat 2016 for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just glad Betty White made it out of that whole situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy about that.
Yes.
I was just gonna give up. On that deal.
Right.
Oh, that was my phone. Harley Quinn ringtone.
Oh, there you go. You got some.
Yeah. Suicide Squad. I loved that movie.
I haven't seen it. That's the other problem with having children. I don't take them to the movie because it's like $100 by the time.
I know, it really truly is. We usually wait for it to come out on video or DVD or whatever, and we don't go to. We used to go to the movies, but my God, literally, it is $100 for my family to go.
It's not worth it when you can wait for it to come on TV.
Yeah, but every once in a while, I make an exception.
Whatever. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like next month, I'll make an exception.
Next month, I'm making an exception. I need to order my tickets so I get my good seat and my recliner that's in the theater and
exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta plan that girls' night out. So you get the good stadium seat.
Right.
I think I'm shedding. I feel like I have a hair on my arms. So I keep looking. I'm like, what is tickling me? Yes, there's hair on my. Anyway, it's the long hair syndrome. It falls out like crazy. So
I have long hair. I cut it and I'm growing it out. So yeah, I had hairs everywhere. I used to shed everywhere.
It doesn't matter. It's all over the house. My husband complains about that too. Your hair. I'm like, well, what do you expect me to do about it? Cut it all off. You like long hair. You threaten me every time I say I want to cut it short. So
men and their long hair.
Yeah.
Their need for long hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Oh goodness. Alrighty, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Yep.
And we'll see you again. Let me see if I can figure out how to. Oh, I think I just might hang up here. That's the part of being a newbie. You're like, what's going on here? And anyhow, again, thank you for being my guinea pig, and we look forward to seeing you again with great news.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to hang up.
I think I just hit this button. Let's see.
I got it. Okay.